Cowboy Logic, Episode 12. Raised by Strong Women, the real women behind my cowboy stories. Back to Cowboy Logic. I'm Ann Dunbar, and today I want to talk about the women who raised me, the women whose hands shaped me, and whose wisdom steadied me, and whose strength runs through every story I write. All of them were related to me by blood. Some were mothers in the way they lived, and some were mothers in the way they loved. And each one left something with me that I still carry. The first woman who raised me was my mama. She was gentle in her voice and strong in her spirit, the kind of woman who didn't have to shout to be heard. Her lessons were small things at first: how to fold a sheet just right, how to treat people kindly, how to hold your tongue when anger won't help, and how to be soft without letting people break you. But the older I got, the more I realized something. Mama wasn't just teaching me how to take care of a home. She was teaching me how to take care of myself. She taught me about grace, about endurance, about how to breathe through the hurt. Even in her quietest moments, she carried a strength you could lean on. When she was gone, it felt like the world tilted just a little. But her wisdom stayed, warm as a hand on my shoulder. Then there were the other women. The ones who stepped in, stepped up, or stepped close. My grandmother, who sewed love into every crooked stitch of that old quilt. A neighbor who made me a blue mug with her own hands because she saw something in me. Aunts and cousins who carried family stories like lanterns through the dark. Women who survived hard marriages, hard losses, and hard lives, and still managed to laugh, to bake, to pray, and to hope. Every one of them had a different kind of strength. One taught me to fight, one taught me to forgive, and one taught me to listen. One taught me to speak up, and one taught me to leave when staying would break me. One taught me that you don't need much in your pockets to raise a daughter who feels loved and strong. I didn't realize it at the time, but together they formed a kind of chorus, each voice adding something to the woman I'd become. When I write, the women I create are stitched from these real women. Ivy carries my mama's quiet strength. Anya carries the fear and fire of women who had to survive. Bet carries the stubborn heart and deep, loyal love passed from my cousins and aunts. And it doesn't stop there. Every woman I write carries a piece of them, their grit, their softness, their way of standing back up when life knocks them down. None of my heroines are perfect. They're not meant to be. They're brave in quiet ways. They cry when they need to. They love fiercely. They get back up. They choose hope, even when it hurts. Because that's what women do. That's what the women who raised me did. And every time I write a character who survives something hard, or whispers kindness when it matters most, or stands her grounds with shaking hands, I feel like I'm honoring them. Their fingerprints are all over my stories. The women who raised me didn't grow up with much. They didn't have perfect lives, and they weren't flawless or fearless. But they were present. They were loving. They were strong in ways that mattered, ways that last. They taught me this: you don't need a perfect life to raise a strong heart. You just need love, honesty, and a willingness to stand back up when life knocks you down. Those women stood up again and again. And because they did, I can too. So today's cowboy logic is this: a strong woman doesn't come from an easy life. She comes from the women who showed her how to rise. Thanks for sitting with me today on Cowboy Logic. The women who raised me live inside every story I write, every character I build, and every piece of wisdom I pass on. This episode wraps up season 1 of Cowboy Logic, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Season 2 starts next week with more stories, more truth, and more cowboy logic to carry you through. Until then, take a moment to honor the women who raised you and the ways they still walk beside you.